everyone. Thanks for coming to this workshop. We're going to talk about your just general internet presence. It's presented by the SGL Communications Committee. We're the ones that have the SGL website. We built that, published it last year. We're the ones that do the social media, monitor the Facebook groups, Reddit, like all this stuff. We're always working in the background. And this is kind of the first time I think that we're doing anything like this. I thought it was a really important topic to share with all of you because we needed an internet presence. Not just SGL, the big guys, but every single little lodge should have something on the internet. So here we go. How to build a web presence for your lodge. First off, I want you to imagine someone in your town hears about the Oddfellows and wants to learn more. What happens if they Google Oddfellows near me? Will they find your lodge? Will they find a phone number or email address for you? Can they tell that your lodge is active? Can they find out when you meet? Especially if there are other Oddfellows who want to drop in and visit. I do it all the time. Can they find out whether they can visit if they're not Oddfellows and what times that's appropriate? Can they see pictures of your lodge and its members? And can they see your events? So, the internet is often the first interaction someone has with an organization. And that basically means that they might see you in person at an event, could be a fundraising thing, could be at your lodge, maybe you're running some kind of event there, and they're physically inside the space and get to see it. Maybe they meet you out on the street and you just tell them, oh, I'm in this weird thing, and we do all of these things, and they seem very interested. What are they likely going to do after that interaction, if they're interested? They're going to go home, and they're going to Google your lodge. Or they'll just Google the state, either one. This is kind of, I think, the more impactful interaction. I mean, not always, but sometimes. It's where they really get to dive in and see what you're all about and if it's something that they want to join. So this is like the second introduction to you. I wanted to give you 3 ways to give your lodge presence, give your lodge a web presence, and help people find you. The easiest one on this list is to make sure your lodge is on the SGL Lodge directory. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The second option is to join social media. It's a little bit more effort. It's a little bit more like constant, consistent work, consistent posting. And then number 3 is the most effort, but it's building a website. So the first thing we got here, we're going to talk a little bit about what each tool is and what it's for. So the SGL Lodge directory, it's for people already looking for Oddfellows. This helps people find your lodge. So this could be Oddfellows looking to visit, new interested parties being like, oh my gosh, is there an Oddfellows lodge in my area? When you Google the Oddfellows in a state, this is usually the first thing that comes up. We have really good SEO. The lodge directory just pops right up, and you want to make sure that you're represented on there. Social media. This reaches usually your local community more than anything. You're going to see a lot of examples of my lodge and what we have. We have a very active social media and website. And basically, we use it to let our local community know what events we have going on, show off things that we're doing, just making it seem like we're really active and there's a reason to come and visit us and to join. The website is great for anyone researching your lodge. It's giving people a permanent home for information on your lodge. So they see you posting stuff on Facebook and you're doing stuff in the community, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Where is this lodge? What they're probably going to do is find that link, like on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever, that directs you to the lodge website where they can find your address, maybe your calendar of events. We have a calendar of events. It's really helpful. All sorts of things. That's when they're really going to deep dive into your lodge, the organization itself, all of that. So the SGL Lodge directory, again, this is the absolute easiest thing that you can do to get some kind of presence online. The directory should have accurate lodge, your lodge name and number, the location of your lodge, some kind of contact information. We have an area where you can put your phone number. You could even just have your secretary's email address, and that's fine, just so someone can contact you. It has a place for your meeting information. It has a place for like website, social media links if you have that. It also has a place where you can add more information about your lodge, throw up some photos. I definitely click on the lodges in the directory that have photos and can kind of show that they're, the photo is somewhat recent, they're doing something, there are people there, or at least showing a picture of the building helps. So with the SGL Lodge directory, you don't have to build anything. You're making sure the information that already exists about you is correct. Some people might have heard the meeting yesterday, but we got information from the secretary's office, inputted it into our database, and a lot of those things aren't accurate. So we very much need help making sure everything is accurate. And I mean, lodges will have events and change and do things and not let Sovereign Grand Lodge know. This is a really easy way to keep that stuff updated and get it on the internet fast. So how do I update my lodges directory listing? You can visit ioflodgedirectory.org. On the website, you basically are going to scroll down. There's like an image of the map that's on this page there. And under it is a little search bar, and there's a link that says Update Listing Form. We're going to walk through this together in a little bit, but there's also a QR code there that takes you directly to that lodge listing update form. So if you'd like to take a little snapshot with your phone now for a preview, go for it. All right, the next step, social media. We'll come back, don't worry. Social media is how you tell your community what you're doing. So we have a really active Instagram account. My lodge, I think I set up the Instagram, or no, someone else set up the Instagram, but I took over it maybe like a year ago, and we went from 300 followers. Now we have around 2,500. So it is the way people find us. On your social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, we'll get into all those details. You want to show examples of community service, your lodge dinners, fundraisers, group photos after degrees. We love posting these. This is when we usually get people contacting us asking to join, is whenever we just post, we have our degrees, our initiation, we all take a group photo, we post it online. It takes 2 seconds, and we always get 1 or 2 people asking about our lodge. Public events. You want to make sure it's really clear that you want the community to come and find you. So public events are a great way to do that and to make sure you're sharing that stuff. Member outings. I've seen people post things like, oh, a bunch of the members went out to go see a movie together, and you just snap a quick picture, and that's kind of nice. And then I love posting local Oddfellows history. I'm a little bit of a nerd for the local history in Vermont. I spend a lot of time in the weird storage units that we have, reading stuff. So that's something that I like to do as maybe a longer blog post. One time I had a potluck that was based off of a Rebecca's cookbook from the early 1900s, and we posted photos of that, and the community loved it. That's the stuff you should be looking for. You don't have to post every single day or even every week. My lodge posts pretty much constantly, but just showing maybe once a month that you are meeting, that there's something happening and you exist is really good. So there's a whole bunch of social media sites out there. What do you pick? The big 2 that I like to talk about is Facebook and Instagram, because they're the easiest for people to just jump into and get going. So Facebook, you want to always think about the audience for these things when you're joining them. And what they want to see. So Facebook is a 25 to 55 plus age range. Facebook skews older. It's really good with text-based posts, images, short-form video, which is those, if you know what a TikTok is, where it's a little video and it's like no more than 5-10 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. It's great for live streams. It is the largest social media platform and definitely has like a pretty like large audience for you to show off your stuff to. Instagram is for slightly younger folks. It's about an 18 to 35 age range. It's totally image-based. Well, it's image and video now. It used to be totally image-based. And Instagram loves photos of people. Those are the things that really blow up. My lodge posts a lot of event flyers, band flyers, stuff like that. Every time we post a picture of like a group of people, those are the ones that are getting like 100+ likes. They also are really into short-form video and live streams. Short-form video on Instagram, right now the algorithms for a lot of these social media sites, if you have someone who can do video, like it shares it way further than anything else. The platforms are kind of built for these like weird TikTok videos now. That's definitely not going to be something that everyone can do. But if you have a younger person who knows how to do some video, get them to make one for you. This is a must-use for targeting millennials and Gen Z. That's what you're going to hit. So those are the two that I think everyone should join. If you're only joining Facebook, that's a great start. There's also a whole bunch of other ones. Our lodge only uses Reddit. Reddit's been really helpful for us. But you know, if you have someone who's really good at video, you might want to do YouTube. YouTube's great because it has an even age and gender range in terms of audience. So you'll hit kind of everyone. Everyone uses YouTube. TikTok is like really young kids. It's like 18 to 24. Honestly, it's probably even younger than that, but they're not allowed to report that. I don't really find a great use for it. If you have a kid at the lodge who's really enthusiastic, let them give it a shot. You will get eyes on it. And then Reddit, I really love. So Reddit is about 18 to 45 age range, but I would say that it's actually pretty even in terms of age range audience. It's really good for event postings, and there are a lot of subreddits that are location-based. So like, if you're in, like, we're in Dallas, there's probably like an r/Dallas, which is basically a like little message board for Dallas stuff. And you can post your event flyers there. Sometimes people are like, hey, I'm looking for something to do where, you know, something that's like alcohol-free, not a bar, but I still want to gather with people and meet people. We have members that post in those all the time saying, hey, come to the Burlington Lodge. That's totally a thing you can do. We get a lot of people coming in from Reddit. So again, the big two. The easiest and most important social media sites to be active on, in my opinion, is Facebook and Instagram. Both are managed by Meta, that's the company, and it can be managed in one place called Meta Business Suite for simplicity. Meta Business Suite is what I use to manage the SGL social media. Basically what it is a calendar, and you can post things to like, you can schedule things to auto post at different points during the week. That way you're not just constantly online trying to find things to post. If there's something coming up and you know it's like 6 months in advance, you can like post little reminders for it periodically. Meta Business Suite is really great. It makes social media stuff super, super easy, and it gives you all the analytics. So you get to see how many people are actually looking at your posts, how many people are interacting with your posts, what type of posts do you make that do better than others. You can see kind of what your community wants to see. So highly recommend using Meta Business Suite, just makes things easier. Yes?
Is there a cost for that?
Is there a cost for it? No, it's completely free. Yeah, it's one of the few things that are. Yes? What's that? Did you, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to come closer and maybe, paid ad boost? Yes, there's cost for paid ad boost. That is a thing that you are able to do with these. It's something that I don't do very often, but I do put in like $100 ad boost for any kind of like major events. My lodge does a music festival So we'll do a $100 ad for like 2 weeks to make sure people see that flyer. Yeah. What's that?
The different social medias that you're accessing, how do you keep consistency? So if somebody's on Facebook but not on Reddit, are you not having people drop through the cracks basically unless
Yeah.
they are on all four?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, here, I'll let you say that one more time to everyone.
I was just asking the fact that there is multiple media sites to go to. If you are posting on Reddit, but somebody's on Facebook, how do you remain or keep that consistent communication going when people could be on different sites?
So there's not really a great way to do that. With Meta Business Suite, there's like other ones that you can pay for that will auto post to like many, many different things. Like if you're a former Twitter user and you use X now, there's places that'll auto post to that. It's basically like you can just take one post and make sure you're posting it to every place. The thing is like every social media account or social media type wants a different thing. So consistency is a little weird. You're kind of just using best judgment because some things that work on Facebook might not work for like TikTok or Instagram or Reddit or whatever. So you are going to have to do a little bit of tailoring in terms of the content that you're posting. Does that make sense?
I was just wondering if you're trying to get information out to your lodge, if everybody's on a different site.
Yeah, so if you're getting information out to your lodge specifically, I mean, I don't use social media for that. It's more about interacting with people outside of the lodge for us. But generally, the people in my lodge are going to the website and our website calendar first. We also have a bunch of messaging groups. We use Signal for a lot of our messaging, and for the folks that don't use Signal, we just email updates pretty regularly. We have a newsletter, stuff like that. So there's a million things you can do. Yeah. Yeah, it depends on your audience. Yeah. All right, so the last thing here is a website, giving a place for people to learn more. So your lodge's website's primary function is to give people all of the information that they need to get involved. The website doesn't need to be fancy, but it could include things like information about your lodge, information about Odd Fellowship in general, a way to contact the lodge, information about lodge projects and events. We have a lot of different projects at our lodge. We run a food pantry. We have a music venue project. We have like craft nights and social hours and things like that. And each one of those projects, the main projects, have its own page on our website. Photos and videos, and then like you always want links to your social media if you have them. So that's something you want to put on there too. Let's see. I'll scroll through our lodge website after the next slide to show you a little bit more what we do. So how do I build one? There are a couple different places where I think the majority of people go to build websites these days. Google Sites is really good if you're like completely new at web design and you just need to put a domain name on something with information. So Google Sites is free. You just have to have a Google email address. It's super, super easy. They have like little templates. You literally just click a box and you type stuff in and you add a photo and you're done. It's so easy. The hardest thing that I've had, the thing I've had the most trouble with Google Sites is just connecting a domain name to it. It's possible, but I mean, even just having like yourlodgesname.google.com is still good. It's something, and it will be picked up by search engines. It's very limited in design and functionality, but that makes it so that it's really impossible to break. So you have a lot of members who want to put their hands on that website and don't really know technology. They're not going to break that website. It's pretty hard. So that's a really, really great option for beginners. The next one is Squarespace and Wix. They're both these kind of like what is called WYSIWYG editors. They're like what you see is what you get, where they allow you to pick a template and they have like little widgets and stuff, and you just kind of move things around and make it the way you want it to look. They're both subscription services. They're varying in price. Wix is a little bit cheaper than Squarespace is. Squarespace is a little bit more restrictive in design, but I actually like it better. The templates, they have templates, and they're all drag and drop design, so it makes building a website pretty easy. It's still a little complicated, and because it's so customizable, it's more customizable than Google Sites is. It means you have a little bit more of a possibility of breaking something if you're not technologically advanced and you just accidentally delete like an entire page. So there's ways to do backups and all of that. But if you have older members of your lodge who want to jump in and make a website, this one might be a little bit more tricky. WordPress is probably the trickiest thing, but it's pretty affordable as long as you have hosting. It can be completely free if you have a buddy who has a server somewhere. It's pretty much just the cost of hosting. It's open source, meaning that it's something that the community builds and updates. You need some coding experience. There are things where like you could just pick a template and just like kind of type things into it. But if you want to use like the full functionality of WordPress, having some coding experience, I would say helps a lot. It's completely customizable. Like back in the day, it was really, really popular. Tons of websites were built through Squarespace, or sorry, through WordPress. But it is really easy to break if you don't know coding. You delete the wrong thing, your website is down. It's really tricky and annoying, and it's kind of hard to get to their support since they're like a open source thing. It's not really like support for it. I'll show you some examples of this now. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so to give you an idea of kind of how customizable things can be, we've got Google Sites. This is what I created for the Grand Lodge of Vermont because we didn't have a website, and we didn't really have a budget, and we didn't have a ton of time, and we just needed something really fast. So this is through Google. It's super basic. It basically just tells us what we are, tells a little bit about our history, talks about our big projects that we support, talks a little bit of like, you know, how you can join, how to find us, Grand Lodge officers, that good stuff. If I go to lodges, super simple. It lists all of our open lodges right now. Vermont's very small. And then, you know, give them an option for if they can't find a lodge, you know, maybe they want to start one. And we have a contact us page. That's it. That's all you need. That's a really basic website, and it gives people everything they need to know about what you're doing. For our lodges website, this is through Wix. This one's a lot bigger, and it's because we run a ton of events. We got some of Ainsley's designs on there. We've got our upcoming events listed right on the homepage. Notice how much we're doing also. Like this is part of the thing is like if you want people to come to your lodge, you also have to be doing stuff. So we've got like figure drawing, and we've got live music and a Sunday meditation group and crafternoons, and we're just pretty much every single day of the week we're doing something. We do news a little bit. I don't know, it's a blog situation. Sometimes we post stuff, sometimes we don't. And we have a donate button so people can donate to our lodge. Lots of photos, lots of bright colors. I'll show you what our events page looks like. So this is where we put the calendars of events. We have an actual like event calendar here that says what happens every single day. That's super helpful. We have a separate page for venue booking and rental with all of our policies, all of the information on like what kind of stuff we have available for people to use. And one thing that I will stress is that you can never have too many contact pages or contact links. So we have like a contact here for that. Finally, I'll just show you the donate page. People donate on this all the time. If your lodge needs extra money and is doing cool things, we get donations like I would say at least a couple times a month, just from people who want to support what we're doing. And we're like a pretty poor lodge. We're pretty broke. So it makes a huge difference for us. So yeah, that's something you can do in Wix and Squarespace is create a donation page. The last thing here is I know AskMeImayKnow.com is a WordPress site. And this is another one. It's pretty basic here, has Oddfellows links and information resources, and a place where you can learn more and add a link. Ta-da! But this is a great little directory website where it just kind of tells you everything. Official Facebook groups, member-led Facebook groups, blogs, podcasts, books. This is something that we like send out to our new members when they join to just kind of get them like as much Oddfellows knowledge as possible. It's pretty great. And yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the different ones look like. So I'm going to have you do an activity to kind of wrap things up. But first, I think maybe I'll take questions first. Does anyone have any questions about that before I make you do stuff? Yes.
So as far as your lodge goes,
Yes. I'll have you do this.
I'm just curious, as far as your lodge goes, how many members have you generated via these sites?
A lot.
A lot. Okay.
So at least for us, we are doing a lot of events and we're posting a lot on Instagram. So I told this story yesterday, but the way that I joined my lodge and joined the Oddfellows is I saw the documentary Join or Die. I immediately Googled, found the Instagram, followed the Instagram, and through the course of an entire year, it took me a year to actually join. I was just watching them post cool events that I wanted to go to. I lived an hour and a half south of where my lodge was, so pretty far. Not easy to get to in Vermont, where there's snow and ice. But because I was seeing these constant reminders that they exist, they were doing a lot of like outdoor movie nights and stuff, and I was like, that looks so cool. They just stayed in the back of my mind until finally I moved to Burlington, and I immediately joined. So that's my experience. It directly helped. When it comes to the events that we're running, we run a food pantry. A ton of the members have come because the food pantry has its own social media. We have social media that promotes the food pantry. They get involved with the food pantry, they join the Oddfellows. Same thing for our music nights. That's where we get most of our younger members. It'll be, they see that a show is being posted, they're following us on Instagram because we're posting about our shows, and then they eventually like come and join. They'll usually email us from the website. And yeah, we've gotten a lot from Reddit. So we have one member that is constantly on Reddit, and anytime someone is like, hey, I just moved here, I don't know anything, and I just want to meet some friends, he's immediately on there being like, come to the Burlington Oddfellows, and he's always posting flyers and stuff on there as well. So there's a lot of web marketing that you can do. All of this stuff is like pretty much free, minus maybe the website needs some hosting. It just takes effort. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and some volunteers.
Did you say your lodge grew from 4 to
Yeah.
20 something?
Yeah. So my lodge went from, in the past 4 years, 5 members almost died. We're at 80 now in 4 years. And that's a big part from our social media and web presence. Yeah.
I do have another question.
Yeah. Thank you. You can do it too. Yeah.
I've got something to add here.
We got you, and then I think I saw someone over there.
So before we launch any of these new sites and pages, do we have to run a mass communications plan?
That's a good question. You don't have to. If you'd like to, we're always like perfectly happy to help. But yeah, go for it. Just don't do anything that'll get you in trouble because it's against the code. That's really the rule. Actually, a growth point that I also want to mention about the Vermont lodges is because we were able to grow our lodge so much and we had so many people watching our posts from nowhere near Burlington. They were like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away. We instated a virtual lodge. They still have to come to the lodges, the physical lodges, to do their degrees, to get initiated. We still have them come for like special events and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's a way to gather all of these members that don't have a home, like a physical home, from all across the state. And that is something that like, we instated our first lodge in 100 years by doing that. From doing that lodge, we're also very close to reinstating a physical lodge because it's people from all over the state bringing in their friends, meeting each other, finding little groups in little parts, little areas. And then they're like, oh, wait, we could just have a physical lodge and like start meeting at this like community center. So we're really close to starting our second lodge, which is pretty big, or second lodge in the past 100 years, and this one being physical, which is a pretty big thing. So internet can do a lot. And metaverse, of course there is. Any other questions? All right, cool. We're going to do an activity. So we're going to talk about what does someone see when they search for your lodge, and I'm going to have you help me pass things out. We've got 2 very short activities for you. So on this piece of paper, activity number 1, I would like you to take out your phone and Google your lodge by name. And what comes up? We have some check marks here. Check off all of the things that actually come up when you Google your lodge. I want to see how many things you can find when you look your lodge up. And this could be anywhere on Google. It can be from our database. It can be Yelp. It doesn't have to be a website. It doesn't have to be a social media if you don't have it already. Just see if you can find the answers for these questions and how long it takes for you to find them, if you can find them at all. You found it? Nice. We got a couple. Yeah. Oh, awesome. All right, quick raise of hands because we've done this for about a minute, 2 minutes. That's all you should need. How many people found their lodge on Google? All right, great. That's pretty good, guys. Not bad. It came up somewhere. Wonderful. So you found your lodge on Google. The next step is to make sure that all of these things on this list is something that you can find. You don't have to do it right now, but at some point when you have a little bit of time, just double check and make sure all of this information is accessible on the internet somewhere. Activity number 2, we're going to have everyone check out their lodge directory listing. So you can use the QR code there, or you could just type in that URL. I would like you to search for your lodge and see if it comes up, and just check to see, is that listing outdated, lacking information? If it doesn't come up at all, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the screen. Okay, there's the lodge directory. I'm going to search for Burlington Oddfellows. Sorry, I should say Queen City Lodge. That's our actual name. We're number 1. There we are. That's my lodge right there. Take a look at this one. Notice that we have a contact list, we have an email, a phone number, our website. It says when it was last updated. I actually could update it again because there are some things that do need to be updated, and that was done about a year ago.
So Queen City's your lodge name, but Burlington's your brand, right?
Yeah, Burlington is our branding. I mean, it still says Burlington Oddfellows Queen City Lodge on the bottom, but yeah, we go by Burlington Oddfellows. So we have our lodge address. Our meeting date is 1st and 3rd Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. That is correct. That's when we meet. We have a Facebook link here. We're active. A little bit of a description about our lodge, a little bit about our history. And we've got photos going on so people can see that we're actually doing stuff. This is all stuff from our social media. Oh my God, I could update this. So if I take a look at this and I'm like, oh God, I need to update it, which I'm kind of doing right now, you can go up to this link up here that says directory, And if you go all the way down at the bottom, you can hit Listing Update Form. And that'll bring you, oops, I just clicked out of it. That'll bring you to this. So this is the Lodge Directory Update Form. So what you're gonna just do is fill out this form now and make sure your lodge is completely up to date. It's not gonna update automatically. We have someone on the back end who checks and makes sure that the information is correct and that like you're not putting in something weird. So we have a little bit of moderation there. So if you don't see it immediately, that's just the way it works. We just have to make sure someone reviews it, but it goes up pretty fast. And you'll get an email when it has been approved. But yeah, that's everything you should be filling out. Lodge pictures help a lot.
6 pictures.
6 pictures, up to 6 pictures. And when you hit submit, that'll be in our system.
When you hit submit and you failed, it'll tell you, go fill this one in.
Yeah. It'll tell you if you did it wrong. It's really easy.
The asterisks are required. The other stuff is optional.
Mm-hmm. So if your directory listing is all up to date or you want to do it later, I'm not going to keep you here, but I just wanted to make sure everyone knew how to get to this page. That is pretty much the end of this workshop. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to be hanging out here. You can ask me questions. There's some other folks from the communications committee here, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Okay, there's the lodge directory. I'm going to search for Burlington Oddfellows. Sorry, I should say Queen City Lodge. That's our actual name. We're number 1. There we are. That's my lodge right there. Take a look at this one. Notice that we have a contact list, we have an email, a phone number, our website. It says when it was last updated. I actually could update it again because there are some things that do need to be updated, and that was done about a year ago.
So Queen City's your lodge name, but Burlington's your brand, right?
Yeah, Burlington is our branding. I mean, it still says Burlington Oddfellows Queen City Lodge on the bottom, but yeah, we go by Burlington Oddfellows. So we have our lodge address. Our meeting date is 1st and 3rd Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. That is correct. That's when we meet. We have a Facebook link here. We're active. A little bit of a description about our lodge, a little bit about our history. And we've got photos going on so people can see that we're actually doing stuff. This is all stuff from our social media. Oh my God, I could update this.
Okay.
So if I take a look at this and I'm like, oh God, I need to update it, which I'm kind of doing right now, you can go up to this link up here that says directory. And if you go all the way down at the bottom, you can hit Listing Update Form. And that'll bring you, oops, I just clicked out of it. That'll bring you to this. So this is the Lodge Directory Update Form. So what you're gonna just do is fill out this form now and make sure your lodge is completely up to date. It's not gonna update automatically. We have someone on the back end who checks and makes sure that the information is correct and that like you're not putting in something weird. So we have a little bit of moderation there. So if you don't see it immediately, that's just the way it works. We just have to make sure someone reviews it, but it goes up pretty fast. And you'll get an email when it has been approved. But yeah, that's everything you should be filling out. Lodge pictures help a lot.
6 pictures.
6 pictures, up to 6 pictures. And when you hit submit, that'll be in our system.
When you hit submit and you failed, it'll tell you, go fill this one in.
Yeah. It'll tell you if you did it wrong. It's really easy.
The asterisks are required. The other stuff is optional.
Mm-hmm. So if your directory listing is all up to date or you want to do it later, I'm not going to keep you here, but I just wanted to make sure everyone knew how to get to this page. That is pretty much the end of this workshop. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to be hanging out here. You can ask me questions. There's some other folks from the communications committee here, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.